Hi, and welcome back to TechNut. We recently had a request for a setup guide for IIS websites and FTP, so we created one. Even though this video is not part of a series on the HPGN8 microserver, you shouldn't have any problems setting it up on one. The first thing that we'll need to do is add the IIS server role. To do this, open up Add Roles and Features. Go next through the first couple of steps here. Select our server and scroll down to IIS. You can select this and add additional features. Click Next, and when we get to the IIS features, we're going to select the FTP server, as we'll be setting that up as well. Click Next, and proceed with the installation. Once the installation is completed, we'll have the IIS role available in our menu to the left. You can see our server here. We're going to right click it and open up the IIS Server Manager. I'm going to expand the section. As you can see, we already have our site available. This is the default website. If we open up Internet Explorer and browse the local host, this page will be displayed. If you only want to host one website, you can go ahead and explore this website and change the content as you like. As you can see, here we have the index file as well as the picture. We're now creating a new site. Right-click Site and select Add New Website. We're going to enter the name of the site. In this case, we're using testweb.hayaku.se. Hayaku.se is a domain that I own. I'm going to go ahead and select the folder for this web page. I'm going to create a new folder inside inetpub. And this will be the root of the web page. Click OK. I'm going to specify the host name of the site, which will be testweb.hayaku.se. Click OK to start the site. The site is now up and running, but we'll need to add some content. To do this, right-click the site and select Explore. Inside the folder, we're going to create a new index file. To do this, we're creating a new text file. We're naming it index. We're going to turn this text file into a HTML file, so we're going to go ahead to Folder Options and unhide the extensions for known file formats. We're going to change the extension to HTML. And we're going to go ahead and open the file using Notepad. I'm just going to enter some basic HTML into this file, so we have something to look at when the page works. If we try to browse to the site, now that the file's been saved, we'll get an error. This is because the DNS name does not exist in our DNS database. So what I've done is I've installed the DNS server management tools into the web server. And if we start them up by going to Tools, selecting DNS, we can connect to the DNS server on our domain controller. We're just going to type in kiwi dc01. I'm going to go ahead and expand this, go to the forward lookup zones and create a new zone for hayaku.se. So when the zone is created, we're going to add a record to this. We're going to use the cname alias record. Then we're going to enter the alias testweb. And as you can see, it completes with hayaku.se, and we're going to point it to the web server, kiwiweb02.kiwi.log. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And as you can see, if we try to browse the page now, we'll get to the ugly HTML page that I've just created. If we have a look at the bindings, we can see that the default website, if we go into bindings, up, 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 up. There we go. Actually says that all requests will be accepted. However, since this page, if we get into bindings again, has a hostname specified, it will be served first. We're also going to go ahead and create an FTP site. To do this, right-click Sites, select Add FTP Site. I'm going to enter a name for our FTP site, in this case Test Web FTP. We're going to specify the root of our FTP, and it's going to be the same folder as we created for our web page. We're going to leave these settings at default and set no SSL. We're going to grant access for one specified user, and we're going to call the user FTP user. We're going to give the user read-write access, and we're going to finish it off. Since this user account does not exist, we're going to go into computer management and create a local account with the same name. In computer management, select local users and groups, open up users, and add a new user. Make sure to specify the exact same username as specified in IIS. Back in the server settings of the IIS manager, we're going to go ahead and open up server certificates. We're going to create a new self-signed certificate. In a production case, you'd want to use a publicly acknowledged certificate. However, this will work fine for your home environment. We'll give the certificate a name. I'm going to use personal. The certificate is being created, so we're now going to put it to use. We're going to go back to our FTP site. We're going to select FTP SSL settings. We're going to select our certificate. And we're going to require SSL. Don't forget to click apply. Next, we're specifying our external IP address. Go into FTP Firewall settings and enter your external IP address. Click apply and repeat the same step for the top of the tree. On this page, we'll also specify a port range. In our case, we're using 5000 to 5100. Go ahead and apply. Get a warning. We're going to ignore that for now. We're going to go back to our FTP site. As you can see, the port range has populated this field as well. We're also going to go ahead and enable basic authentication. Once this is done, you're pretty much good to go. We're going to make sure that all the required ports are open in the Windows Firewall. Check the inbound rules. You should find 3 rules for FTP. As you can see, we have them here. One is for port 21, one for 990, and one for the transfer ports. This range could indeed be lowered quite a bit, as we have specified only 100 ports for this. When making these kinds of changes, restarting the FTP service is necessary. Open Services, and scroll down to Microsoft FTP. Right-click and select Restart. I've started up FileZilla on my client. I'm creating a new site. I'm going to call it Hayaku. We're going to enter the host name, which of course is testweb.hayaku.se. I'm not going to specify the port. I'm just going to specify the encryption. We're going to enter our username and our password. We're also going to transfer settings and specify this as an active connection. I'm going to click OK, and we're going to connect. You can see our service certificate. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. As you can see, we can see the index file recently created. So I'm going to download that. I'm going to open it with my favorite text editor. I'm going to add a new paragraph to it. Please Please excuse my typing. I'm gonna save this. If we try to upload it, you can see we get an overwrite, and we get it over and over again. And as you can see on the bottom, we get a failed transfer. This is because the user account does not have any kind of write access to the folder. So I'm gonna go back into the folder, on the server, right click it, select Properties, Security, and add the FTP user. Let's specify this is a local account. Enter an FTP user. You can see him there. And we're going to add modify. Back on our client, we're going to go ahead and reconnect and try to re-upload the file. If we refresh, you can see the files are now identical. On the server, we're going to go ahead and browse the page again to see if the update is taken. As you can see, the new row is there. To make these services available to external users, you will have to set up port forwarding in your router. You might also need to set up some DNS settings for your external domain name if you have one. And that's all there is to it. You now have a web server up and running with FTP capabilities. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe.